Hey, welcome back to this episode of Think Business Live, Take 5. Always looking forward to talk to Gabe Karp. Always fun interviewing a friend and also an author on a topic that I love talking about. Gabe, you're the partner at Detroit Venture Partners and author of the book, Don't Get Mad at Penguins and Other Ways to Detox the Conflict in Your Life and Business. Let's jump into that. Congratulations on the book. Talk about how you define, maybe in the book or in life, and in business and in life, conflict.
Yeah. So thank you. Thanks for having me on. By the way, I got my fire going just to match your fire.
Yeah, no, it's good.
Yeah.
It's relaxing. No better way to, deal with conflict than in a relaxing setting.
That's right.
Yeah.
So sure. So conflict, what is it? Because that's a broad term. I think I'll speak about it in terms of the thing that most people get wrong about conflict in a business, particularly, is that it's a bad thing. It should be avoided. Mm-hmm. And the reality is conflict is something we should embrace to make our companies grow faster, to innovate better, advance our careers. So, and I can go on, but I'll stop there because in a nutshell, that's how I view conflict.
Yeah. So talk about that a little bit, so how do we embrace it? What are some of the tools? It's kind of counterintuitive. I mean, what are the tools that we need to embrace it, right? Because that starts with mindset and a shift.
Sure. So number one, it's important to recognize there's healthy conflict and there's toxic conflict. We don't want to embrace toxic conflict. What we want to do is detox it. See what I did there? So the idea is to once you view conflict as something that is a good thing and can be embraced for really positive results, then it's a lot easier to engage it. That's the mindset that changes. And then if you say, well, okay, what's going on right now doesn't feel good. I'm like, the person I'm dealing with is angry. They certainly don't sound like they're having a good time. It's making me feel all kind of anxious. So it's understanding why that's happened, what the toxins are that are at play, and then how to detox them.
Yeah. So what's one tool that someone, I find sometimes people need that line, that transition line, that enter point, that talking point, that question to begin kind of the conversation. What would you recommend, or what do you suggest as people enter into the world of, dealing with a conflict at work, a conflict with a friend, a conflict with a family member?
Yeah. I mean, it's very situational. So I'm just going to create a very a scenario to give it a little context. Let's say you've got a situation where you need to give some really difficult, critical feedback to somebody, and it feels very uncomfortable. Why? Because it is. Yeah. But the reality is, if you have that kind of feedback and you don't share it with somebody, that's actually a really mean, cruel thing to do to someone, to let them go through life believing that everything's fine when in fact there's real important feedback they need to change. So just even recognizing that makes it a little more comfortable. But then how do you begin? What's like one line you can use? I would say one line is to say, hey, look, I want to share some feedback with you. And if I were in your position, I really hope that someone would share that with me.
Yeah, I love that.
And then, at that point, was someone to say, no, I don't want to hear what you have to say.
But I think I love the way you put that, because I think if you're then kind of storytelling in a way where you're putting yourself in their shoes and saying, I would expect you or hope that you or somebody would share this with me. I think that's great. Gabe, we're going to continue this and some additional talks, but tell people where they can learn more about you and where they can buy the book.
GabeKarp.com, GabeKarp.com. And you can buy the book anywhere books are sold. Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Books A Million, you name it. I'm sure it's out there.
Good. Well, congratulations again on the book. It's a great book. And Think Community, check it out. I think conflict is something it's not worth the energy to avoid. It causes too much havoc, I find, in people's nervous system. I know mine. I don't like it. I do my best to address it immediately. And I think that is, but I wasn't always that way. I had to learn it, and I had coaches, and I read a lot of books, and your book is a great tool to really help just get through it and the tools to do it. So Think Community, check it out on Amazon. Gabe, thanks, man. To be continued. We'll continue this talk. Thanks so much.
Thanks, John.